Gonna be doing this video as a little something to people who want to get into speedrunning. I know I have a lot of viewers who are more on the casual side, more people who don't really speedrun, they're just more of spectators. So I'm gonna be making this little video to try and show the benefits and just show how to become a world record hunting speedrunner. I compiled this after watching Ludwig's video about how to become a streamer. I thought it was a really good video on just kind of breaking down the bare bone basics, and I thought I would kind of apply that to speedrunning. I think that'd be kind of fun. So this is a very broad topic, so I think the first thing would be to why listen to me, you know. I'm just I'm some guy on the internet with this video probably asking why bother. I'm not new to this. I've been around a while. 3 years is a long ass time for speedrunning. And as you can see, I have a lot of first places, so a lot of world records. A lot of them being in categories that have competition, and a lot of them being in categories that had once had competition. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to this kind of thing. I know my way around things. I guess I can move my camera just to see 2FM on the top left. I'm not new to this. I know what I'm talking about when it's this kind of subject, and I think I have some good things to say. So, the first thing out of 3 things, that's 3 questions. The question 1 is, do you want to be a speedrunner? Most people already are. Most people in the chat and just watching later probably already are speedrunners. But for people who are watching my stream or the YouTube video and thinking, I want to be a speedrunner, that looks fun, I want to have a crack. The biggest bit of advice I can give is to make a note. Seriously, go do this. Open up Notepad on your computer or get a pen and paper out and just make notes of these things. Okay, these 3 things, 2 minutes tops. You can probably write these things down. This is a serious thing. Go write this. Okay, if you want to be a speedrunner, go write this down. I'll explain why it's good. For 1, the dates. You want to make sure you have a system in place. You want to be sure that you are not just winging it. If you're winging it, you're not going to get very far. It's going to take you a long ass time to get far. Having a system in place, dates to start something, learn something by, and do something, you're going to be more organized and you're going to be more motivated. As with anything in life. Set up a schedule, set up dates, get stuff done. Category goals are just for the leaderboards. When you look on speedrun.com, you might see that a category has over 100 runs. Set your goal, top 10 in a month. Doable depending on the game you want to run. Some other games require more time, but at least have a goal in mind, short term or long term. Long term record, that's the big one when it comes to categories. But for short term goals, top 20, top 10, top 5, top 30 even, make note of that. Keep yourself attached to something and put more value on spots that aren't world record, because honestly, stuff like top 10 and top 20 have value. They have serious value. So you want to make sure that you are putting some merit to those places. And then 3 to 4 speedrunners, just 3 to 4 people you wish to emulate. 3 or 4 speedrunners you look up to. 3 to 4 speedrunners that you look at and you feel the passion, you feel joy coming from them. Then you can look at mine for reference too. Obviously, my schedule broken up. Well, this is real, by the way. This isn't I was gonna put a screen cap, but it was in my notepad on my computer, and I thought it would look better if I just typed them out. So, when I started running Spyro, was New Year. I decided I want to do something new for my new year. 2nd of January, I started learning. On the 8th, I wanted to attend my first run, which I did. And my schedule was every day except Wednesday and Saturday. That's my my schedule. That's what I had planned. And top 10 was my goal. I wanted top 10 in about 2 weeks, which I got. Happy days. It put a value on the top 10 spot, made me appreciate it more when I set a goal to it. And my 3 inspirations, Cheese, ZFG, and Spike Vegeta. Cheese is a runner that just goes all out. It does not matter what strat that is, he will go for it and he will work on it and he will try and implement it. I love that about Cheese. He will take anything to go fast and he will incorporate that. He will mess with that and he'll add that to his speedruns. That is a really favorable skill. I love that about him. ZFG, also along the same vein as Cheese, but ZFG is a lot more calm than Cheese. I think everyone knows ZFG. He's very composed, very chilled out. I think ZFG is one of the best runners to look at when you want to see the emotion to bad things. Not to the good things, because he can have very monotone reaction to the good things. But to the bad things, he doesn't mind all that much. He loses a really good run, he does not care. He just, whatever, reset, he goes again. That is a really favorable skill to have. That is a serious, real thing. It's a real skill to have, just passion but no care if something bad happens. That's such a, it sounds so weird, but it's such a strong skill to have. And Spike Vegeta, for me, one of the more entertaining streamers of the bunch. He speedruns pretty much anything, and even if you don't know what the hell is going on, he still puts on a show. He puts on a damn good show. And he's very entertaining, and that adds to the value of speedrunning. Being entertaining makes it more worthwhile, adds an extra bonus to speedrunning. Get to grow an audience, you know, make friends online, all that stuff. And Spike Vegeta is really good at that. He's really good at kind of drawing people in and filling them in on a run they've probably never heard of before. So with mine for reference, you can go and write yours down right now. 2 minutes tops. If you see this, look how simple this is. 3 or 4 lines, okay? If you cannot sit down for 2 minutes and do this, then honestly, don't speedrun. This is just like a serious thing. Don't do it. If you cannot muster the effort to write down 3 lines, to set up a schedule, set up a goal, and set up inspirations and aspirations, don't speedrun. You are not going to last. You will do it a month tops and you will burn out because you will not know what to do. You will not know what you're doing. I highly recommend, seriously, I highly recommend you, so simple, just writing those things down. If you can do that, you'll be on that graph. That graph depicts 600,000 unique speedrunners registered on speedrun.com. If you don't do that and you speedrun, you will be on the left side of this bar, in the dead end, back of the line in terms of progression. Setting up a schedule, goals, and inspirations, you are immediately putting yourself in the top 40% of speedrunners. A lot of speedrunners just kind of do it. They just kind of, let me just put on a timer, watch a run, and then do it. If you want to be a top runner, if you want to be in the top bracket of speedrunners, you need to sit down and just write those things down. If you follow a regimen and you have goals, you immediately put yourself in the top bracket. Second question is, how do you speedrun? I can ask this to hundreds of thousands of people, and I think the simple answer would just be go fast. Play games fast, okay? But if you look deeper into that question, at face value, it's a very silly question. A lot of people looking at me, what are you on about? How do you speedrun? It's easy. But there's multiple layers to it. You have to dig deeper and understand how to do it. First of all is the process. This process is super simple, displayed right here. Just 3 things you have to do, okay? When you do a first run, whether that be blind or based off someone else's, and you finish it, you always want to look at your recent runs and ask what can be improved. By doing this, you are starting the process of just becoming better as a speedrunner. This could be applied to any practice, art, sport, it could be anything. Okay? This practice, it works. So you sit down and ask what can be improved. And you sit down and use references from speedruns on speedrun.com and from people situated in the community to help you out. Once you have done all that, you can start practicing. Once you know what to do and what can be done, you practice the damn thing. You have to make sure that you work it into muscle memory. You have to be sure that it is down to the T and you know what you're doing in that segment. And when you're confident in your practice, you attempt to speedrun. This can be streamed on YouTube and Twitch. You need to have a VOD to upload to speedrun.com, so doing it on YouTube and Twitch is a great way to start an online presence. You can grow a community from doing speedruns on YouTube and Twitch. There is an entire section of Twitch that prioritize speedruns. People love watching them, so stream it. YouTube or Twitch, Facebook if you wanted to. As long as it's recorded somewhere, and you're doing a little bonus to the side of speedrunning. So growing it as an internet presence and speedrunning. Once the speedrunner is done, you loop all the way back to the beginning. What can be improved? This process, again, very simple. Very, very, very simple when laid out like this. But when you're sitting down, not knowing what you're doing, and you do a run, it's really easy just to do more runs. It's really easy to just ignore the bad things and just keep doing runs. If you were to focus on the 3 or 4 biggest time losses of your run, every time you finished a run and practiced it and polished it off, you would get really good really quick. You have to target your biggest weaknesses, ask how it can be improved, practice it, and then do it in a run. Doing that, you will very, very quickly iron out mistakes. Your biggest ones, you will knock off minutes of PBs really easily once you just practice, polish everything off. Next is the mindset. Mindset is the biggest thing in speedrunning. Mindset is the most important tool, the most important thing to have locked down. You want to have a strong mindset to be a really good speedrunner. And there are 3 things. Super simple again. 3 things that you just have to follow to knock out pretty much all of the things for a good mindset. First one is always look to improve. Again, this comes under wanting to just get better as a speedrunner. Knowing what other people are doing, taking your time, and understanding how to get better. Ego is a very bad thing to have in speedrunning. If someone you do not like has a better strat than you, or someone does a strat that you do not like, if it is faster than what you do, you have to swallow your pride and you have to do that strat if you want to improve to the best of your ability. If your ego is too strong and you cannot give in, you cannot do strats that aren't yours, you are opening yourself to being an easy target to beat. If someone announces they don't want to do a fast strat because they just don't like it, they are setting out an alarm saying that they are not going to be as optimal as they can possibly be, which is a sign to other runners that you won't be that good of a competition, because when the category progresses and better strats come out, you are not going to be the first person they think of going, they are going to start doing that and get a really good time. No. You want to be sure that you are open to anything and everything. Never let your ego cloud performance and progression. Second of all, the quote, a very important quote that has held me up for a while, that I did not learn for the first year of speedrunning, which was very bad for me, is there is always another run. You go through all the practice, you understand everything you're doing, and you go for a run, and you're on your best pace by a minute, maybe 2 minutes. You could be killing it, doing super well, and then disaster strikes, and your run dies. It is extremely important to understand there will always be another run. There is always another run that will either match that pace or beat it. You have to be open and accepting of the fact that sometimes you're going to suck. Sometimes you're going to make a mistake that kills a really, really good run. And that's fine. That's normal. That's speedrunning. You have to understand that there are always other runs in the future that you can match that pace or be better at, and not let your emotions get the better of you in the moment. Again, I struggle with this a lot in my youth of speedrunning, in my speedrunning youth. Once you understand and accept there is always another run, anger and annoyance at good runs dying will begin to fade to the point where you know the process, you know what to do. You say, I'm going to beat it anyway on the next run. And third, a pretty big one, is to put on a good show. Because you're streaming this to Twitch and YouTube or Facebook, wherever you're streaming this to, there's going to be people who want to watch you bring a category down if you are contending for the top spot. And to become more open and more approachable by people, you have to be putting on a good show. For one, it's good for your online presence, and two, it's good for you. Speedrunning on your own is not fun. Speedrunning with no one to talk to and no one to really communicate with can get to you. It's not good. So having a good online presence and a nice community to have discussions with and to join you in watching a category come down is the key to feeling positive and just feeling great about doing runs. The key to it is just feeling good about doing runs. And if you have people who are there to support you and have banter with you and just make jokes with you, you're going to have a lot more fun of a time. You're going to have a lot more fun. Back to inspirations. Make sure that your inspirations fill out either all three of these, one for all three, or one for each. Two for each, maybe, if you wanted to. But for me, again, Cheese, always looking to improve. ZFG, there is always another run, and Spike Vegeta, put on a good show. These three are key to a good mindset. This isn't everything. I'm not the be-all and end-all of positive mindsets of speedrunning. I'm not the be-all and end-all of speedrunning in general. But this is what helped me understand and progress in my career as a speedrunner. Now going into the reset mentality. Again, kind of going with the mental game again. The reset mentality is notorious in every community, speedrunning in general, just resetting that timer. It's really bad to fall into traps of thinking I can do better. I can do better, it's fine. I can just do it again, I'll be better. And then always being in the same part of the run for a full day of runs. Being in the first hour of a 3-hour run for 6 hours is not a fun thing to do on a day off of work or on a day for speedrunning. So, there are 3 things you should tell yourself before you want to reset. Can this run still be a personal best? Can this run still PB? Do I have splits I know I can best segment? And am I near the end of the run? If you can say yes to any of these 3, then do not reset your run. Of course, again, maybe you're going for a really optimal time, you know more than I do in this moment, maybe resetting is the right thing to do. But if you've just started speedrunning and you're annoyed the fact that you know you have a minute to save and you saved 10 or you lost a minute, ask yourself these 3 questions. And be open, be honest with yourself. Don't talk yourself down or talk yourself up when it's not the case. Be honest. These 3 questions will keep you from resetting when you don't need to, and you'll be seeing a lot more PBs more often, and your progression will continue growing. You won't stagnate as soon as you would hate to see. Third question, and final question, is what do you speedrun? I've told you the mentality, I've told you the process, I've told you the pros and cons, I've told you all this and that. But what do I do? Like, alright, I know this, where do I apply it? So, there's this cool little image here that just shows games in what I think would be a nice categories for speedruns. Fun, popular, and challenging. These 3 categories are pretty subjective, honestly. Popularity, fun, and challenging can be very subjective to the person, but there are a majority of games that fit these bills pretty well. For example, popular and fun could be Minecraft speedruns. Popular and challenging, Dark Souls. Jackpot, you could consider Hollow Knight. The fun, popular, and challenging game Hollow Knight. I would put it in the jackpot spot. That would be a game that hits all 3 of them perfectly. You want to try and find the sweet spot of the game that you're wanting to run. A childhood game, maybe a game you have real connection with. Having a connection with a game helps you speedrun it too, because you're okay with playing it over and over. You're okay with going through the process with that game. And if you can pinpoint your game into this image and see where it is on this image, maybe it'll fit what you're looking for future games. Maybe you'll realize, oh, actually, maybe I don't want to run that game. I think this image is a great way to kind of compare games in regards to 3 very important categories. It's fun, popular, and challenging. So be sure that you refer to this when you're trying to pick a new speed game or just trying to pick a game to run. And finally, you have to be better as a speedrunner. When you pick your game, once you know what you want to do, you know the process, you know the mentality, you know the game, you have to be better. You have to be better than me. You have to be better than the world record holder in your category. You have to be better than everyone speedrunning that game. If you want world record, you have to show that you are the best. You have to understand that you have to just beat people. Alright, you have to be better. You have to understand what the requirements are to get a record, and you have to get it. You have to be better. It sucks to say, I'm not gonna let you snag a world record from me. I'm not gonna let you. No one else will. No one else will roll over and let you get their record from them. They will fight you for it. Passion is a serious thing in speedrunning. People are passionate about these things, which is amazing. And if you think you're going to get a record without matching that passion, you are very incorrect. You need to be better. 100%. You need to understand that you need to put in the work if you want to get a record of someone who is as passionate as you are and also willing to put in the work. So, I hope this was fun. It's the first time doing something like this, so I hope it was good. But yeah, good luck on speedrunning. I'll see you guys on the leaderboards.